What is going on, everybody? Warstu here with another video regarding all Marvel, DC, pop culture news, yada yada yada. You know, that spiel he always says. Anyways, to be real, we got the Geeky cast back here with another video talking to you guys about the Thunderbolts plot leak. So let's get right into it without wasting any further time. Also, I saw some comments in the last video. Now you guys are actually going to be able to understand the person talking without putting it on 0.5 speed. Anyways, let's go. Everyone on the team but Bucky and Red Guardian are tasked with getting rid of loose ends for Valentina's Aux connections, as Congress is attempting to impeach her for corruption and a slurry of other charges related to the Aux Corp. This leads them all to an Aux base in the middle of the desert, which is a mile underground. Now, if you guys don't know, Val was doing experiments on the Sentry program, was working on multiple different test subjects, and she had them doing the whole spiel. They had Bob in there, and he's being experimented on. Bucky is a congressman trying to help in the impeachment investigation by talking to Val's assistant, Mel. RG, Red Guardian, owns a limo service and sneaks his way into driving Valentina, which helps him discover Yelena is in trouble. We've seen that in the trailer. Pretty much she steps in the car and Yelexi's just driving and he hears her talking all about it. Also, Val's assistant, everybody was saying, was going to be Songbird. We have no actual proof to that, just besides that little necklace that's around her neck. Also, we do know Bucky is a congressman, as it's a direct connection from Brave New World, and we also see him go into her art gallery, where she's talking with a bunch of different people, and we see the scepter and all those other spiel. Taskmaster is almost immediately killed via headshot by Ava/Ghost, and they then figure out they were sent there to be cut as some of Val's remaining loose ends. The fight stunts are epic, and Bob pops out from behind a crate. Heidi Moneymaker is definitely making money off this one, and yeah, it definitely, from what I've heard from people, this is one of the best scenes in the entire film. Yes, Taskmaster gets pretty much offed at the very beginning as Ava literally walks up to her, pops her mask back, and shoots her in the head. And they're just like, what? So what Val did was she sent everybody in there. She sent Bucky, Yelena, Taskmaster, and Ghost all to off each other. And that's what happened. They all end up teaming up except for Taskmaster, who's a skid mark on the ground now. They escape the room by trusting Ava to come back for them after phasing out of the incinerator room. If you guys don't know, that's the room where we see the fire popping up on the top and it has like the timer. But then they have to climb up an elevator shaft to the surface. Pacha and Cusco. Bob's idea. It's pretty much back to back against the walls. They get to the top and Walker saves the team using a fire hose. I can totally imagine how this is going to be all showing, you know. Just imagine him just leaning down a fire hose for them to grab onto. Each member that touches Bob has dark visions of their past brought on by the void that lives inside of Bob. I believe Yelena even provided the moniker based on her own mental health battles that she discusses with Bob. If you guys don't know, Bob and Yelena are going to be the duo that pretty much carry this film. They both have a lot of issues with their fathers, with their past, with their families, and so they're going to have a really big connection. Yelena demands Bob stays behind her in order to help in their escape, and the team work together to escape the compound as agents come to finish the job, non-lethally. As Val just discovered, a Sentry candidate survived the testing, Bob, and wants the subject unharmed. Obviously, she wants to take him, she wants to use him. His powers are insane. He's 1,000 times stronger than any super soldier. And that's the whole spiel in this movie. Everybody's pretty much a super soldier. With Yelena behind Bob, she doesn't know yet that he has superpowers. So she's like, oh, hey, I'm just going to have the civilian stand behind me. I'll help him get out of here and we'll be off on our own. Ava then begins to phase out to go find a ride. Yelena tries to blind everybody using night vision by turning on all the lights, but it doesn't work. So Walker and Yelena fight the guards sent to get the Sentry candidate, all while Bob is tied to Yelena via the same fire hose they used to get out of the elevator. So they're literally back to back. If you guys have seen Sonic 3, you guys will know what I'm talking about, where Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails were all tied together. I could totally see this being a funny spiel and whatnot. The team escape in a guard attire into the exterior and are picked up by Ava, so they're doing a whole Mission Impossible-like thing. Their vehicle gets stopped by security just as they're about to leave, and Bob escapes out the back of the APV and begins shooting in the air as a distraction. The team in the truck escape. Bob is shot at, reveals his powers, and then shoots off into the sky, only to crash down into a crater nearby, knocking the escape vehicle down a cliff with the blast. I'm assuming that's going to be one of the funny moments, and we've seen him being shot at where he's staring there and his gown is just getting covered in bullets. I'm assuming that's when he like knocks them all out. Yelena, having connected with Bob and his mental issues, wants the three of them, Walker, Ghost, Yelena, to rescue Bob. Red Guardian and his limo are seen driving towards them, and he shows up honking his horn all the way, trying to warn Yelena that Val is trying to off her. Albeit that they ride in the limo out east, but is soon followed by a convoy. And here we go, like we saw in the trailer, Bucky saves them from the convoy, but captures the team and ties them all up. The team discusses Bob, and Bucky receives tips from Mel that Bob is a threat and he needs to get whoever he can to stop him, as he's unstable and overpowered. Meanwhile, Val introduces herself to Bob and tells him she believes in him and knows his potential. He tests his powers by boiling a glass of water. We've also seen that in the trailers. You have Val showing him what to do, and then he eventually breaks that glass. He also makes Val see dark visions from her childhood when she touches him. This alerts her to some of the darkness inside of him, but she proceeds anyway. This is like a caution that you're just like avoiding at this point. Because power. Costume, sample, fabrics, and such as seen in the background of the makeshift room. Whole, she talks to Bob. I think that person meant while. But anyways, we've seen that as well. We've seen the different haircuts. We've seen the different Sentry logos and the different outfits, which super excited for. I wish they would have shown us a better, clear look at those in the trailers so we could, really show them now. But hey, it is what it is. Bucky and the team join forces and head to New York in a box truck. Once again, seen in the trailer. Everything in this movie has been seen in the trailer pretty much. They arrive at the old Avengers Tower, where Val is forced to set up a new lab as she's destroyed everything else. Trying to hide evidence from the investigation committees, they fight their way in just to find out that Val is upstairs waiting for them. That's when we hear the thing where she's like, guys, you can just use the elevator. I was waiting for you guys. They talk, then they threaten Val and are introduced to the amazing suited up Sentry, and he whoops them all. And I hear this is a very short segment, but he moves very fluently and very cool, apparently is what people are saying. I wish this segment was longer, as it's so good. The team flees, and Sentry questions why he has to listen to Val. She tries to reach his kill switch, but fails and almost gets choked to death until Mel appears and pulls the trigger for her. Sentry's eyes go bloodshot and his body falls to the floor, presumably dead. Val calls for a cleanup and Mel demands a raise. Oh gosh, could you imagine that? The team fight about how they can't defeat the Sentry and try to part ways, only to be brought back together by heroic acts of saving civilians from another shadowy darkness. The Void hovers near the top of the Avengers Tower and takes down people and helicopters, resulting in a falling crane, debris that the team have to save people from. They try to help the bystanders to safety, but many are consumed by the Void. Yelena embraces the Void and disappears into the Void's vision world. By the way, everybody who goes into that or you see being flattened as shadows are actually being sent into the Void to deal with their deepest, darkest fears. So that's pretty cool as well. Next up, Yelena works to escape the dark childhood vision and finds Bob, but ends up going from one-ish memory to another. She sees Bob in reflections and finally finds a way to get to him in a seemingly not as bad memory. It turns out it's a memory from Bob's screwed up childhood, and Yelena and the audience feel bad for Bob. I believe this is the one where the dad was actually casted, and he's pretty abusive, but I don't know for sure. The rest of the team arrives in the dark vision Void to save Yelena and Bob. They then attempt to escape by heading to the worst memory in the Void and face the suited up chicken. I wonder how the chicken's so bad. Was the dad dressed up as a chicken and like scaring Bob as a child? Bob blames the memory on his past use of I'll say drugs. I'm surprised Marvel actually said the word. They find the memory when Bob's Sentry testing began and faced off against the Void together. The Void gets the upper hand, but the team cheer on Bob. Bob then goes a little crazy, steering into the darkness, and you see the Void taking him over. The team then fight to pull Bob off of the Void to keep him from turning into the Void. So if you guys don't know, Bob, the Void, and Sentry are separate beings, but whenever the Sentry's out, the Void is closely behind, and that's the whole spiel. The team escape the Void real with Bob, and he remembers none of it and makes a comment about the mess left in the wake. The team then try to chase down Val, only to be tricked into walking straight into a press conference where she introduces the team as the new Avengers, which Val claims she's been working on in secret. Yelena whispers, "We own you now," to Val, and the movie ends with the team accepting the title. The new Avengers is their name now, not the Thunderbolts, for those who keep asking why the asterisk. And for you guys who don't know, my friend actually explained the scene, pretty much saying that once everybody comes back, they start clapping and whatnot, and Val gets it to seem like it's a simulation, kind of like how they said, the Westview thing was just the Avengers practicing and all those other spiels. There is a lot more emotional dialogue and connections between characters that I'll leave out as they make the movie worth watching. Very relatable, very dark, but impactful. Go see it now. Mid-credit scene. Red Guardian is on the cereal aisle, presumably waiting for people to walk down the aisle. He grabs a box of the Wheaties that they're on the front of and hands it to a lady. But then she goes on at the end of the aisle and leaves it on the ground. I'm so excited to see what Alexi's face looks like when he realizes she put it down. Now, the end credit scene is the big one, and I know Warstu just did a video on it, but anyways, it takes place 14 months later. The team is in their new HQ and mentioned that Sam is actually trying to sue them for a trademark copyright infringement, and hopefully he's building his own team. Red Guardian has like this pit tracksuit on, and it's like a sweater, and he pretty much says, why don't we just put a Z at the end of New Avengers? And they're like, nah, we're not going to do that, and that's like his whole idea to like get rid of the lawsuit. Yelena mentions space anomalies and an ongoing space crisis. Someone asks Bob what powers he's got, and he pretty much says he's not going to turn into Sentry because then the Void's not far behind and he can't afford to let either one of them out. Essentially, he can't control the Sentry yet. But then the satellite gets a alert of a vessel in space. The footage is pulled up and we see the Fantastic Four's rocket entering the atmosphere. And the only reason why we know is because it has the giant big blue 4 on the side. And then apparently their theme also plays, so that's how we know it's them. Apparently people were saying that in this scene, the costumes and the wigs for the Thunderbolts was really rough, but apparently they also have new suits on too. And then the screen cuts to black and says the new Avengers and Bob will return. And this person gave the film an 8 out of 10, said it's dark, gritty, deals with mental health really well, and it's very awesome in the action department. Good writing, and Bob and Yelena are the stars. Yeah, so I mean, that honestly sounds really good. Let me know what y'all thought. As always, drop this video down a like, a thumbs up, comment, share this out. Let me know what you thought, what your favorite part is, and if you're going to be seeing the movie opening day. Catch y'all in the next one.